before he started boxing in the IBA Pro Series was an interesting one. It never really got off the ground. He had a fight here, one in Denmark, one in Saudi Arabia on that Amir Khan Billy Dib undercard, and then I was amazed to see him returning with a fight in Grays in Essex against Brett Fido, who is a fighter myself and Ron know very well from down the years, a really good away corner operator, but just never really imagined that you would see Shahobiddin Zoirov in that kind of setting, to be honest with you. No disrespect to Grays in Essex, but such is the sport of boxing. I think this will suit him a lot more. I think the action will be a lot more regular for him, and he finds himself up against a very, very good opponent here in Yoel Finol. Both of these two boxing out of the southpaw stance. Finol with that trademark shock of hair, comes tumbling forward over his forehead, looking for that left hand. Slightly different builds, these two. Zoirov is slightly shorter, a little bit more compact. Finol is leaner, slimmer. Zoirov just looking to let go with a pretty bombastic looking right hand there, and he started this fight quite aggressively. It's front foot pressure. He's not throwing bundles and bundles of punches, but he's stalking his opponent here. And again, just showed him the exit down the ropes and then collected him with the left hand, and I think he feels like that made an impression, because you could see him really go after Finol here. And this is interesting from Zoirov. He's got 10 rounds here, but he started like he needs to chop his man down, like he wants to make an imprint on him early on, like he feels like the longer duration here is very much going to suit him. Finol hasn't really thrown much in this opening round so far, to be honest. He's tucked up and done a pretty decent job of that, but he's not offered too much back into the final minute of the first round. Sets his feet there, Zoirov, and was looking to go to the body, and there is sometimes some body on offer from Finol. As I said, he is quite tall. When he locks in those elbows, they don't completely cover him up. Zoirov just dipping his head, looking to get the head on the chest there if he can. Nice right hand into the body. Final few seconds of round one. And a good start from Zoirov. Like I said, he's not thrown bundles and bundles of punches, but that's aggressive.
Most certainly, an effective aggression as well, because his incessant front foot stalking saw this man initially giving angles and moving backwards, spinning off the line almost exclusively counterclockwise, but then the deeper we got into the round, he began to back him up and not just have Finol circle around. Occasionally pinned him against the strands and was able to tee off with effective shots from both flanks. There'll be no panic in the mind of Yoel Finol or his corner yet, and his corner headed up by the brother of Sofyan Umahar, and his Mehdi Umahar tending to the man sitting on the stool in the black corner. But I'm sure they're going to tell him, okay, you've had a look now and you've got to do something different, because really the pattern was pretty much set. Finol moving off to his right and Zoirov on the front foot, applying educated, effective pressure to take the first round.
So into the second, they're scheduled for 10. That was a good start from Zoirov. And again, he's just bobbing and weaving as he comes in there. Little stab to the body with the lead right hand. Rolling those shoulders, looking to keep that head on the move. He's probing here. He's just taking Finol's space. He's making him back up, even without throwing a lot of the time. Just dipping in and out with that front foot. Right hand into the body. Finol just holding his ground a bit more in this second round, which he has to do, because otherwise Zoirov will just roll in on him, and he can't let him do that. He's got to give him something back, gain his respect. He'll have his respect as a technician, as a craftsman. But boxing over 10 rounds is a different scenario to boxing over 3, and maybe when they've met before, Zoirov has felt that this kind of distance is not going to suit Finol. And that's why he's bringing this kind of approach. I like the look of him when I saw him in Serpukhov against Dimitri Tavali. He put up a good fight, Dimitri Tavali, nowhere near as experienced as Zoirov, although a European amateur champion. It looked to me like he would be suited to the longer duration, and he's just trying to work Finol over a little bit again here in the second round, but Finol not giving anything away. Good jab there from Zoirov. Climbs into the combination. Finol is looking to try and fire back. There's that right hand into the body again. He just touches with a couple of punches to the gloves and then takes the elevation down slightly and finds that right hand into the body. And as I said, there is body on offer for Finol quite a lot of the time. Into the final minute of round 2. That's a better looking jab there from Finol. Left hand on the inside and then a straight left hand there from Finol was a decent shot. This is better from him. They're just trading off centre ring. This is what he needs to do. He doesn't want to be too reckless here, Finol, but he's digging those toes in a bit more. And as I was saying, he's got to make sure his opponent respects him enough that he doesn't feel he can just walk in on him and unload. And I feel like he's doing a reasonable job of that towards the end of the second round. And it's interesting when you've got two fighters who know each other well from one format, who've done so well in one format, the 3-round format, as to how it could be different over 10. Because Zoirov, I think, feels like 10 rounds is not going to suit him.
Well, it was a very interesting second round for my money because it began in a similar vein in which the majority of the first was contested. Finol did make a point of reducing his movement on the outer expanses of the ring, staying more in the space of centre ring, and then he occasionally turned orthodox, but then started to root his feet into the canvas and answer back with his own combinations at short and mid-range. On a couple of occasions, he backed Zoirov up. I still think Zoirov's greater punch output is probably enough to give him the round, but Finol just giving a showcase as to what he can do. And as you pointed out, Andy, just so Zoirov doesn't feel he can just walk in a straight line and help himself to success to both head and body. Worth pointing out, remember, that in the two title fights that's serving as our main and co-main events tonight, IBA President Mr. Umar Kremlev has offered an incentive of $1 million US for any boxer who scores a knockout before the end of round number 5 in our two world title fights tonight.
Good point, well made. It's always interesting to wonder how much of a difference that might make, because if you let something like that get into your head, it might cause you to lose concentration or go for a game plan that you wouldn't normally go for. Experienced fighters not really going to think about that too much. It's a great thing to put on the table, and certainly if you get an opening, then maybe in the back of your mind that might cause you to really put your foot to the floor in the way that possibly you might not have done otherwise. But when they're in there, they're totally zoned in, and as the saying goes, the more you look for a knockout, the less likely it is to come. Good left hand there from Finol. Tried the same punch again, and Zoirov managed to just pull his head back out of the way. Good jab there from Finol. That's a solid shot for him. He looks more effective to me, Finol, when he's southpaw against Zoirov here rather than orthodox. He's been southpaw most of the time, but every now and again he's turned orthodox. And this round so far, this third, been contested on pretty even terms. Good right to the body there from Finol again, really wound up for that one. I think he's going to go to the head, then went downstairs. Good left hand there from Finol, and looks to be swinging overhand right. I think he feels like he's got the attention of Zoirov there, and then maybe just got slightly reckless, slinging in those big shots. But he's having a good round here, the Venezuelan. two have both done the 8-round distance. This is the first time they've been scheduled to go over 10, so they'll be fairly confident about their ability to navigate it. But if this is going to be a hard, evenly contested fight, then I really think it could be, because Finol again there just chopping down with a neat 1-2. Has got that foothold in the fight here that I feel like he needed. The first round was Zoirov's. Finol didn't really do too much. Second round, again, I think Zoirov won it, but as Ron was saying, Finol did enough there to give himself something to build on, and he's built on it in this third. That long left has done some good effective work for him. Lovely left hand again there from Finol, and he's finishing the round strong here, and he's got a real swagger in his step. That was an impressive round from him.
Most certainly, punctuated by that sharp shooting left cross to conclude the round from Yoel Finol. You mentioned the fact that both of these men have gone the 8-round distance on the IBA Champions Night stage. That was in Vienna, where each of them faced different opponents, with Samuel Carmona in the ring against Shahobiddin Zoirov. That was a really hard-fought contest. That effectively a semi-final eliminator for this world title tilt tonight. And the longer this contest has gone on, the more we're starting to see the flashy but fundamentally sound work of Yoel Finol, never more evident than when the manner in which he concluded the round. Beautiful, piercing, straight left cross, and his confidence seemingly growing by the round here.
And this is set up very, very nicely. Zoirov just getting back to his feet there, puffing out the cheeks. 3 rounds down, 7 to go. It's an awfully long time.
Round 4.
So into the 4th, I would say that Zoirov is probably 2-1 up here. But the momentum currently, after that round that we've just seen, is with Finol. Slightly more circumspect as he comes in here, Zoirov, than he was maybe in that second round, but that's no bad thing. Just trying to pick those punches, dips his knees, goes to the body with the jab. Finol hasn't offered too much in this round so far. And that's good movement from him though. He's got a nice rhythm to his work, Finol, if he's allowed to settle into it. Short with the jab there, Finol, switching stances. He's got the reach, the height and the reach that comes with it over Zoirov. Finol. Left hand there from Zoirov. I don't think got through completely clean, but just sits down on a 1-2 there, catches a jab as he's looking to move forward. But again there, Yoel trying to let his hands go. Not much in this one as we hit the midway stage of it. Shaping to that left hand there, Finol, pulled out right at the last split second. Zoirov just swinging from his bootlaces almost there with the right hand, and does it again. The second time it did get through, just leaping into the shot. Slightly risky. Good combination there from Zoirov. Finol though just catches him as he finished punching. Nip and tuck this as we head into the final minute of round 4. And again, just trading off in the centre of the ring, and once again Zoirov having the better of the initial exchange. And then rather than finding an exit, stayed where he was, and Finol was able to answer him back. And as we suspected they would be, these two do look incredibly well matched. Balance deserted him slightly there, Zoirov, obviously through the left hand. Just sets his feet and looks to land the hooks. Good hand speed on the inside there from Finol, and again he's just trying to finish the round strong here, leave that imprint with the judges before they sign those scoring slips. such interesting stuff, this. As I say, they do look incredibly well matched.
There's Hassan Boyduzmatov and Abdul Malik Halakov, Olympic champions from Paris, in the presence of Manny Pacquiao. But up in the boxing ring, these two experienced IBA boxers are producing a nip and tuck affair of the highest order. I thought Shahobiddin Zoirov in the first minute, when he was able to get on the front foot and force Finol backwards and to the side, had a really good first minute of the round. But then Finol, as you'd expect, recognized that, changed up the tactics, began to give his man angles, occasionally switch hitting, to have a really strong final minute of the round, at least he enjoying his own successes. And as you would expect with two boxers from the caliber at which they operate, bout management, ring position and execution of tactics being drawn up in the corner going to be absolutely crucial in this contest. For my money, when Finol stays in the pocket with Zoirov, it makes it an entirely different contest than compared to when he allows Zoirov to get onto the front foot, walk him down and back him up.
And just looking at the pair of them in between rounds there, I think Zoirov might have a little bit of a problem here, because he is blowing. He was blowing in that corner. They were propping his legs up, giving him a good massage. Finol, on the other hand, looked in better shape. Now, some fighters can wear that kind of look from early in a fight and just keep going. It doesn't necessarily mean all that much, but signs are that Zoirov, after 4 rounds, is possibly struggling with the pace a little bit here, whereas Finol doesn't really look like he is. We shall see. Leaps into that jab, and that's an energy-sapping kind of punch to throw, closing the distance. In that way, it's going to take it out of the legs. Jabs caught on the gloves there by Finol. Neither one of them has landed anything particularly significant in this 5th round so far. Zoirov looking to try and just stab to the body with that right hand. Solid looking left, but again it was taken on the gloves, and as he got onto the inside, he lets go a decent looking 1-2. The left hand might just have ricocheted through there from Zoirov. Zoirov just working a little bit harder than Finol so far in this round, in the 2nd minute of it anyway. Good right hand there from Zoirov. Finol, though, sets his feet, looks to ditch a right hand over the top himself. Every now and again he's just pushing that gum shield out Zoirov, and that, generally speaking, isn't a great sign, because fighters tend to do that when they're trying to get a little bit more air in. But he's digging his toes in here, Zoirov. Finol just trying to finish the round strong again, working off that jab. It's the final 10 seconds. And we'll be at the midway stage. There goes the bell, and I feel like Zoirov has probably won that round, but that it's come at a cost.
And again, the manner in which these rounds are playing out, this man demonstrating that really happy knack of finishing the round strong. These guys will know how long a 3-minute frame is. They've got it imprinted onto their fighter's psyche, and every time in the final minute or final 50 seconds of a round, it is Finol seeking to conclude the round in strong fashion. And again, very close, hard-fought, tactical round. Shahobiddin Zoirov not taking a stall in between rounds 5 and 6 as we prepare to go into the 2nd half of this contest. It is a characteristic that he possesses, to play with that mouthpiece, but he's breathing through a mouth that's open. He is sucking in precious lungfuls of oxygen because he did start this contest, remember, at a terrific clip. He's here waiting a second wind.
So I think the second half is going to be very interesting here. Shahobiddin Zoirov in the white, Yoel Finol in the black, and I wouldn't have said that there's much in it at the halfway stage. Zoirov, I would say, has probably got his nose in front here, but there's a long way to go. Interesting that they kept him on his feet in between rounds, just trying what they can just to keep the energy levels high to aid the recovery. That's the key in that 60 seconds, and that's what fitness is about. It's the ability to recover when you get the opportunity. Finol looks nice and solid, nice and poised, but he'll be wondering about the 10 rounds. They both will. It's not something they've done before. It might not sound a lot, an extra 2 rounds, an extra 6 minutes, but I'm told that when you're in there, it can feel like a very long time. Zoirov looking to try and find the jab. Good upper body movement there from Finol. Made Zoirov miss, but didn't really make him pay. Bit of fencing going on in this round, both short with the jab at the moment. Navigating that distance is such a difficult thing to do. It's not the case that you just go flat out for the 10 rounds. Everybody's got the fitness to box at a good pace for 10 rounds. It's just knowing when to put your foot down, when to try and ease back up. It looks to me, when you watch this fight, that Finol has got more in the tank for these remaining few rounds than Zoirov. That's what it looks like. Wondering what point he's going to try and bring that to bear. Good 1-2 there from Finol. Sat down on that one and let his hands go. Zoirov has had a bit more energy in this 6th round, and he's managed to sustain it deeper into the round. Last couple of rounds, in the final minute, the final 30 seconds, he's faded a bit, but not quite so much this time. Finol just clambering forward there, really, looking for the combination. Good long left hand caught Zoirov. He was pulling back though, so I think he would have taken the sting off it. Not much in this one. Tight round to ball. Tight round to ball.
Another very close round, but again, that long straight shot that Zoirov was just able to ride a little bit, characteristic of how Finol has found a range in the closing moments of the preceding 3 rounds. Just saw on that shot before the replay sequence that his left eye swelling rather angrily beneath from underneath, but there was a cracking 1-2 Finol ran Zoirov onto. But we're talking about the optics as to who appears to be the fresher. This is exactly how Zoirov boxed against Samuel Carmona in Vienna just a couple of months ago. But crucially, even though he appears to be fatigued, he has that wonderful habit of being able to summon up the energy and produce a burst of quality to keep the opponents honest. And as you pointed out, Andy, appearances can be deceptive in this regard because he just seems to have the consistent ability to summon up something, even though his appearance suggests he may be fading.
So into the 7th. That kind of left-hand lead there from Finol. Didn't get to the target, and it is kind of a risky shot to throw. Goes for it again there though. He gets nice and low when he does it, shoots it up. But when you're up against a fellow southpaw, it's got a long way to travel. mentioned the swelling around the eye there, and they've done a good job with it in between rounds in the corner, but that could be a problem as we head towards the end of the fight. The fact that it's under the eye is probably quite a good thing. If it was above, then it could easily slip down. Zoirov just doing some good work there, nice and tight up close. Punches didn't get through clean, but a couple half made it. That's good work for Finol, missing with his feet there. Got through with that left hand. Midway through round 7. He does look like he's got plenty of energy here, Finol. Quite a lot of it does go on what is at times eye-catching, but maybe a slightly over-extravagant move. But having said that, it's not like the arms and legs are flying all over the place. He just likes to pick up his feet. He's very precise with the movements, but there's quite a lot of them. And it's absorbing watching these rounds because, as Ron was saying, the visuals are telling you that Finol's got more in the tank here. But what's actually happening in there isn't representative of that necessarily. Long left hand doesn't quite make it there from Finol. 1-2 there from Zoirov does. Final few seconds of the round. There goes the bell, and again, it's a round where there isn't too much in there. I would say Zoirov has done enough there. Just need to get down dirty a bit more here.
Well, I think that perhaps it's easier said than done, of course, but I just think it requires greater activity, because you mentioned his movement, and I think that when Finol is at his expressive, extravagant best, I think that's when he's at his most effective, because from my perspective here ringside, when he's doing those side steps in the pocket and shimmying in front of Zoirov in the presence of Terence Bud Crawford, two-weight undisputed world champion, alongside Costa Tszyu, 2011 inductee into the Hall of Fame, it just gives those movements Zoirov something to think about from my perspective. He's not circumspect to throw, but he doesn't throw with as much regularity or as quickly. So if I think Finol needs to up his work rate, increase his punch output, and that man knows all about that. Artur Beterbiev, who claimed the undisputed light heavyweight crown last time out against Dmitry Bivol.
That's exactly it. I think he just needs to let his hands go a little bit more. So 3 to go here. This is finely poised. Zoirov, though, on the front foot, backs his man up to the ropes. Good combination. Most of those are taken on the gloves. With the left hand there of the 1-2 got through. And he's just looking like he's finding a nice rhythm now, Zoirov. He may have caught that second wind, of course. It happens with fighters. He looked like he was in a bit of trouble to me through 4 rounds. The way they were attending to him in the corner, but he seems to have got a little bit of a bounce back, and again, that's a good combination. With Finol as well, and I've heard fighters talk about this down the years, if you've got long hair or long braids, when you get hit, it's easy to tell because it flies around all over the place. And Zoirov is trying to bring the pressure to Finol in this round, and he's doing a decent job of it. He's on that front foot again, and this is more reminiscent now of what we saw in the opening couple of rounds, where he's looking to walk in on his man, walk his man down, and Finol's just not really been given the time to get too much off. He rattles off a combination there. But he's reacting to what Zoirov is doing at the moment. just past the halfway stage of round 8. Finol just backs up, and Zoirov noticed that. He's trying to nick a little bit of a breather there. Respect just trying to get straight back on top of him. Finol turns his way out of the corner, but now it's the Venezuelan who, to me, looks like he's feeling this maybe a little bit more. Zoirov plants those feet and just shoots that left hand straight down the middle. It's always fascinating how things can to and fro during fights, how that pendulum can swing. That's what you get when you have a really good match, and that's exactly what this has been. These two just holding their feet, centering. Finol looking to try and let those hands go. Good right hand there. Good upper body movement. That's good work from Zoirov. Landed a left and then just pulled those feet back fractionally. Made Finol fall short with a couple. It's been an intense round, this one.
And I think that's a terrific round for Shahobiddin Zoirov. And I wonder whether Yoel Finol, that swelling beneath his left eye, is rendering him a one-eyed fighter, because in the first part of that eighth round, Zoirov had real success from that right hand. Was Finol able to pick it up? Now Finol, as you'd expect from a boxer of his caliber and competitive spirit, did come back into it in the closing portion, but I thought that Zoirov looked refreshed. He was on the front foot, applying educated pressure, which was really effective. And with just 6 minutes remaining, I think that is a significant passage of time, that eighth round. And for my money, the momentum appears to be with Shahobiddin Zoirov. You can see the Enswell iron being applied to that left optic of Yoel Finol. But I think he's down now, and he's got to produce a really big 6 minutes, and you can see that left eye almost reduced to a slit.
It's a problem. It's a big, big problem, and I completely agree. I think he needs both of these 2 rounds.
Round 9.
I'd say he needs both of these 2 to make it 5-5, to be honest. Over the 10. It's not that he isn't capable of doing it, but that vision is definitely impaired by the swelling. We did wonder whether it would be a problem, and it has proven to be a problem. And you look at the side of his face and it's on, and the fact that he's boxed out for most of the fight, and it's that kind of that wide right hand that he throws Zoirov a lot of the time. It's not really a hook, but he steps in and just lets it go. Good jab from Zoirov. Nice left hand there though from Finol as he was backed up to the ropes, moving off to his right. Found the target. I think he needs to throw caution to the wind a bit here, Finol. But Zoirov has got a spring in his step here. The confidence has returned, and he just walked him straight onto a lovely short left hand there, and he felt that one, Finol. You could see that as he stepped in there. Zoirov, probably the cleanest, meatiest shot he's landed on him in the fight. Impact doubled by the fact that Finol was coming forward. Again, the movement is still good from Finol. He's just not putting the combinations together. He's not really finding the gaps or bringing the level of pressure to Zoirov. But at this stage of the fight, he needs to. Of course, you have to give Uzbek a lot of credit for that. And there's that right hand again, jab this time, and I don't think Finol saw that at all, to be honest with you, as that landed. Left hand again there from Zoirov, closing stages of round 9, and he's just clicking through the gears here a bit, the Rio gold medalist. And again, just leads off with that right hand, and it snaps back the head of finol, who is very, very game. He's looking to try and just fire off a few combinations towards the end of the round here, but it's a tough job for finol now.
Well, Hassan Boyduzmatov, estimable boxer out of Uzbekistan, no doubt enjoying what he's seeing up here in the boxing ring in this battle for the IBA World Professional title at 54 kilograms. Credit to the toughness and indomitable spirit of Yoel finol, but again, that reduced vision out of his left eye proving to be really problematic, and Shahobiddin Zoirov, who set off like a steam train in this contest and appeared to pay a price for it through some of the rounds in the middle point of the contest, has been refreshed for the final 6 minutes, and that left hand that he landed, a terrifically picked punch. But again, we have to commend the courage, the conditioning and the bravery of Yoel finol. I think he needs a stoppage now going into the third and final round. If not a stoppage, then a massive round where he deposits Zoirov onto the canvas multiple times, but Zoirov for his part fighting with real purpose and effectiveness, and I think he's 3 minutes away from being crowned as the IBA world champ at 54 kilograms.
Fascinating to see the journeys that fighters go on throughout the course of a distance fight, particularly when they're stepping up to 10 for the first time, because Zoirov at the end of that 4th round, when I looked at him in the corner and they were massaging those thighs and he was breathing heavily, the end of the 10th would have seemed like about 2 weeks away. Psychologically, that was a tough spot he was in there. Finol was beginning to come on stronger himself, and then Zoirov just found a little bit of that second wind. He brought the swelling up on the eye, and now, as soon as you can see the finish tape, as soon as it's just in the distance there, then that just gives you that big, big boost that there's not that long to go. But he had to ride that out because, as I mentioned, when you're not even at the halfway point, and things are getting tough, that's where you've got to dig down, bite down, and you've got to really want it. And they both have in this fight. They both have tonight. A minute gone in round 10. But I agree that finol needs something huge, something explosive, something nuclear really in this final round. He's got to stop Shahobiddin Zoirov, and neither one of them has looked likely to stop the other. But if anybody's going to do it, it'll be the Uzbek. A good volley of punches coming in from him there. And finol is just holding his feet and letting his hands go. He's doing everything he possibly can here to try and turn this around. And in the process, may well go Zoirov a bit more of an opportunity. Fellow Uzbeks on their feet over on the far side of the ring. You mentioned Uzmatov, Dolokov, Jalolov. They're all just cheering him on here. Somebody they know very, very well, of course, because he is on the brink of claiming an IBA Pro World title. This is some effort from finol in the final round. He's just standing there and trading, blood coming out of the end of the nose now, that left eye almost completely shut as we head into the final minute, and the two just leaning in and agreeing just to have at least a 5-second rest there before the referee breaks them apart, and then they get straight back to it. Fantastic finish this, really is. Long left hand there from finol, just catches the chin of Zoirov. Finol just ditching in with another big left. Zoirov, who's dog-tired as well now. These two are really going to the well here. Final 30 seconds, just digging their toes in and trying to let those hands go. He's nearly there, Shahobiddin Zoirov. Punching down with that combination again, catches a left hand there from finol, who's just raining in these big wide hooks, backed up to the ropes, walks straight on to a short lead right hand from Zoirov, and that clapper will be music to the ears, I think, of both of them, to be honest. The bell about to go any second, and the race between the two fighters who know each other well. Finol raises his gloves in celebration, that right eye swollen as well now, looking at him as he walks back to his corner. Well, you may well heave in a big breath there, because That was pulsating action in that 10th and final round. It really was. And a good fight all the way through. As we said earlier on, a good fight. Twos and fros, doesn't it? The momentum shifts. And that's what we had there, because Zoirov started quick, maybe a bit too quick. He was in trouble through 4 rounds. Finol looked then like he might be capable of taking over. Zoirov, though, wouldn't really have it. Just dug back in, worked hard. And then when we got to the end of the 8th, he could see that finishing tape. And as Finol tried everything he could to turn it around, it just couldn't quite be done.
And what an effort in the final round, particularly by Yoel Finol. But credit to Shahobiddin Zoirov, because in the presence of his fellow Olympic champions and IBA world champions, he didn't just ride out the insurance policy that he had established over the preceding 9 rounds. He almost stood there and said, okay, I'll see you down there, let's have it. And the two of them produced an exchange, some exchanges of the highest quality. Personally, I don't think it's going to be Yoel Finol's night tonight. But again, I don't think it's going to be a defeat that will damage his stock. But Shahobiddin Zoirov, who looked as though he was going for that $1 million bonus, the way he came out of the blocks at such a terrific clip at the start of the contest, paid a bit of a price for that through round 4, but then came out of the other side of the perceived bad patch that Andy Clark and I thought that he experienced. And in rounds 8, 9 and 10, he was absolutely sensational. Round 8 and 9, for my money, put clear daylight between himself and Yoel Finol. Yoel Finol responding like the champion he is, digging deep and making for a terrific shootout in the 10th round.
Firstly, a round of applause for a great fight by these two fighters in the ring. Luca Vadalona scores the contest. 95-95, he has it even. Valery Pushtov and Sergei Zhurkin both have the same score of 96-94 to the winner by majority decision. De Venezuela, Yoel Finol.
So Yoel Finol gets it by majority decision, 2 judges giving it to him.
Now officially, the
5-5 draw. I'm surprised by that, honestly. It was a good fight, it was a very competitive fight, very well contested fight. But
Nuestros sueños aquí se están materializando. Y seguirán materializándose. Que viva mi patria Venezuela. Estoy orgulloso de llevar ese tricolor nacional por todo el mundo y hacerlo sentir orgulloso de que Venezuela siempre se siente carajo. ¡Que viva Venezuela!